And we're live once again. Brother Tyler, invite the guest into this lodge and leave that door open so others may join us and see how things go tonight. How you doing, Worst Brother Wiley?
Doing fantastic, Worst Brother Will.
Oh, you might want to mute your computer.
Yeah, might want to do that.
Over there.
Right over there.
Go there on the screen, hit the little... There.
So, we've been out a little practice, so welcome to another episode of Follow Me. As you can see, we're your host. I'm Worst Brother Wiley Forrester, and this is Worst Brother Will Moore. We're so glad that you took time out of your day to join us. Some of us had a conference call that we had to cut short, but you know, that's why we pushed the time back half hour. When we originally scheduled tonight's session, we were going to do 7 o'clock, but it didn't work out. So, and my phone's just ringing, just off the hook as usual.
This is $25.
Yeah, it's a $25 donation, exactly. So anyway, welcome to another episode. We've been away for 3 months now, and we've been back visiting lodges and doing our thing, and somewhat. Yeah. But I will tell you that brethren are attending lodges, and you know, I hope this finds everybody safe and COVID free, and most of all, thank you for just being you. Thank you for being our brother. We appreciate it.
We definitely have to say tonight, it's the first time to do it since. Congratulations to our new Grandmaster, most worshipful brother, Jan M. Giddens. I think he's going to do fantastic this year.
Yep, and also congratulations to our new third Grand Steward, Worship Brother Scott Johnson. He's from Madison Lodge over in the 8th Masonic District, for those of you here in Georgia. I look forward to being able to work with him over the coming years, and of course, I look forward to serving with Most Worshipful Brother Jan Giddens. In addition to that, you know, we have to say, since we haven't had a session in about 3 months, that a big congratulations to Most Worshipful Brother Johnny M. Garman.
Absolutely.
He did a phenomenal job of guiding us through during the first part of this pandemic. We know that the pandemic is not over by a long shot, and but we just want to make sure that those congratulations went out well. He had a very successful Grand Lodge session back in October. We really enjoyed the time there, even though it was an abbreviated session and in a smaller venue than what we're accustomed to.
Absolutely.
I thank you to all the brethren who understood our situation and understood that we could only have so many in our session. And of course, we put off all legislation until a future period. But we had to get some things done and, of course, elect our officers for the ensuing year.
Yeah, it's required by code.
So. Yes. So, but we've congratulated everybody. We've welcomed everybody in. We see that we have Worship Brother Brian Coffey and Scott Barwick and
Worship Brother Joe Culver, Worship Brother Mark Bradley, Brother Jim Robinson, Brother Rob Simpson, Brother Scott Barwick. We've got a little crowd gathering
and
here.
We're sure that there's a bunch of folks that aren't
signed in
so that we can see who you are. But anyway, thank you all for taking your time. So tonight we're going to talk about integrity.
Oh, yeah.
Integrity is a strong word for any person, not just a Mason. Integrity, by definition, is the state of being whole or undivided. So in ethics, when you're in ethics, integrity is regarded as the honesty and truthfulness or accuracy of one's actions.
Even when you're by yourself.
Exactly.
And that's why the title of this tonight was When No One's Watching. Who are you when no one is watching you?
You know, how are you treating people? How you treat yourself? How you treat your family? You know, when you're doing the little things, the little things are what's important to any person's life, not just being a Mason, but it's also one of those intangibles. And we're going to talk about intangibles too. Intangibles are just those things that you never see. It's the it factor.
No physical form. You can't reach out and grab it. It's
right.
just
there. That's right. It is just there. It is one of those things that you see a ball. Take a ball player, for example. And a ball player, you got a young one out on the field somewhere. He's just got that it factor. Thus having integrity. You have it. The it. You remember when we were in Blairsville a few weeks back and we went to a veterans program and we were talking to a first sergeant was getting an award, a Grand Lodge award, I believe, from his home Grand Lodge, I believe. And the first sergeant made a comment or a statement.
5 words.
That was so profound that the hair stood up on my arms. I mean, it created cold chills all over me.
Well, you and I looked at each other once he said it too. It just kind of went, woo.
Oh yeah, it was one of those wow factors. And the comment that he made, and I want to make sure that I say it verbatim, it's 5 words. Mm-hmm. He said, integrity is intangible, but invaluable. And it's one of those things that make you think, whoa, whoa. It's such a true statement because when a person has integrity, he's not gonna stray from his beliefs. He's not gonna stray from the fact that we need to do good as a people. Mm-hmm. That no matter if there were 5,000 people in front of us or it was just him by himself, doing the right thing all the time matters. Right. And it's so intangible and it's an invaluable asset because those people who have integrity, we've seen by actions of many in the last 6 months, there is no integrity. There's a loss of integrity and value to being good. And we as Freemasons, we value good because our goal is to be good.
Well, I believe that one of the basic tasks of Masons, especially our leaders, is to build a hunger in our brethren to lead a full life of integrity. It's our job to teach those who have just freshly gotten into the fraternity how to build their own integrity as they work on their perfect bachelor. Your integrity must be unimpeachable, steadfast, strong, and it absolutely has to be of value in your life.
Absolutely.
If this is one of those items that no one can give you, and only you can take it from yourself. Integrity cements your word, your actions, your faith, your fairness, and your honesty. Integrity, in my opinion, is best symbolized by the plum in our fraternity. Do you walk upright and beyond reproach?
That's pretty deep thoughts. So what are you doing in your life that is beyond reproach? Are you walking uprightly? Are you committed? Are you committed to being good? Are you committed to bettering our fraternity? Are you committed to growing other people? Because as Masons, our job is to grow other Masons. We have to be able to grow our leaders. We have to be able to grow our all of our people. And our brethren need us to, as Masonic leaders, to step up, show them the path, and then walk the path with them. You don't show up and say, there's the road, go get it. You've got to be able to walk the path alongside the people who are going to support you the most. Be willing to do good all the time. Live with integrity. Die with honor. In Masonry, we're taught that we want to live respected and die regretted. So if we want to do those things, you can't be a man without integrity.
Absolutely.
And it's integrity in all things. It's one of those things that you think about. When I wake up in the morning, how do I want to be? I want to be excellent. How do I want to achieve that? I'm going to work hard. I'm going to treat people fair. I'm going to talk well to others. I'm going to go at the end of the day knowing that I gave the best of myself to my fraternity, my job, my wife, my children, everything about my life, whether it be Monday to Sunday. I want to ultimately say that, that man walked with integrity in his life.
Well, and the integrity in your life also says something about your character.
Yes, absolutely.
They walk hand in hand with each other. Working on a perfect ashlar. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the past, and we've talked about a lot of the key points in this episode that we're talking about now. But the work on your perfect ashlar is a self-transformation. We chip away at ourselves to get down to, it's like an artist looking at a piece of marble.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I've heard him say that the sculpture's in there just waiting to get out. And that's why we are with our ashlar. And that works us towards a better character. That should change us and help us recognize personal gain is subordinate to the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And as Masons, we really have to think about that greater good. Case in point, you're driving down the road and someone really upsets you driving down the road. I've used this as an example before in past episodes. And you so bad want to just scream at them. But you got that Masonic sticker on the back of your car. You may be the only example of a Mason that somebody sees, and you let that person just pass on by, and then in their mind they're thinking, man, I did that guy wrong. And he didn't do nothing about it, but I saw that Masonic sticker. Is that the way Masons act? That's cool.
Exactly. And that was one of those things. That was one of those things too that reminded me of that joke, where the cop pulls the guy over because the guy was swearing and using the old number one signal to people going up the street, and he pulled him over and he said, "I see you're a Mason." He said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, I just wanted to make sure that the car wasn't stolen," because of how the guy was acting. So you're right. You're right in so many ways with that. But when we're talking about integrity, you find your beliefs. You stand by what you think, how you believe, and then it's going to carry over into your actions. Are you bringing joy to other people's lives? And simple joy could be just how you receive someone. A lot of people don't hear a kind voice every day. Have you picked up that phone lately and called some brother that you may not have heard from in a while? Going the extra mile, especially when no one is around, talks to your character and your integrity.
And especially in this day and age right now, with what we're going through as a country, politically, medically, having the integrity to look at someone who has a differing point of view of yours and being friends with them even though they believe different than you, and knowing that you may be right, but they may be right. It's like two guys standing there's a number 6 painted on the asphalt. One guy standing at the bottom of it looks like a 6 to him. There's a guy standing on the other side of it. To him, it looks like a number 9. They're both right. You got to think about things when you're talking to people and discussing things with folks, to never think that you have the only right view. And that takes a lot of character.
Right.
And inside that character is a lot of integrity. You may believe wholly in what you believe, but as Masons, we also have to think of the greater good. And that when we leave that brother, they're still our brother. When we leave that human being, they're still a human being in this world. We got to remember that regardless of what we have in our own heads.
Do you know what another good intangible attribute to a man with integrity is? One who will own his mistakes.
Mm-hmm. That happens less and less in this world right now.
It's so easy to blame someone else for the shortcomings of the day. Mm-hmm. You and I talk almost every single day. And the one thing that you and we're pretty good about today, we choose whether or not every day we're going to be happy.
Sure.
It's a choice you make as a person, whether or not you're going to bring joy to somebody's life, or you're going to let the vicissitudes of life wear you down.
Well, that's a big word.
Yeah, and I actually knew how to say that one. But you choose whether or not how you're going to react to the situations. And based in leadership, whether you're successful or you're not successful is based on the reactions of troubled times. When things get tough and we're put in difficult situations, your integrity should not allow you to fail. And if you do, it's going to allow you to pick yourself up, dust your boots off, learn from it.
Learn from it.
That's right.
The thing.
And the greatest leaders generally are men or leaders in this fraternity are men with high integrity who have learned to listen more than speak. You hear what they're saying, analyze, break it down, and then give your response. A lot of us are so passionate that sometimes we speak before really analyzing what was said to them.
Yeah, and I've had that happen from I've had past grandmasters talk to me, I've had other brethren talk to me, and they'll say something at the point that we're talking about it, I don't get it, but I'll be on the ride home from a lodge, or the next day I'll be sitting in the living room just with the TV off, just sitting, chilling out, and my brain will digest those sayings and those words, and a light bulb will go off, and you'll grab a meaning that you didn't grab the night before. But back on this whole integrity thing, I think that to kind of give an example of what integrity has, I think our Grand Master this last year had a lot of integrity with what he had to do as the Grand Master with his rulings. I know that was tough on him, but he had to do what was best for the fraternity, not what was best for the individual Mason.
And you know, Grandmasters around the country are having to go through the same thing. And the one thing that I hope that the people watching us tonight understand, as of right now, our restrictions are not as tough as some individual states. In some of these areas, their restrictions have been re-implemented or started back up, however how you want to look at it, of things they can't do. And you know, groups are getting smaller. The being able to get dinner and things like that, or those numbers have changed again. And trust me, brother, when I say we're a long way from being out of this thing. Worst Brother Will and I are going to try to put on our shows. We may, as the holiday season comes up, and those of you, you know, that are celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, those that'll have Hanukkah and other holidays that come along through the next 6-8 weeks, understand we're going to try to put some more shows out during these times, because as Masons, other than, you know, now traditionally the December month is usually installation of lodge officers, and elections are being conducted, and our time will be spent going to these lodges and installing their officers and doing things like that, which is a huge honor for us, because any lodge that asks you to come and install their officers is a major humbling experience. So we're going to put out some more shows. We've kind of sort of let ourselves get back into a routine of where we had lodge meetings to go to, and of course the 4-letter bad word that we both have to do, which is work, sort of gets in our way at times. But just know that for both of us, it's an extreme honor to bring a message to each of you, whether we have 2 people on or we have 200 watching. It's an honor that you think enough of us to be able to see what we're going to say, and to see when Wiley's going to open his mouth and put his foot in there. But he's trying real hard not to do those things.
If you go back through 34, this is our 34th episode. If you go back through 34 episodes, I can honestly say that not many times have you put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, well, I'm working hard at that, because I'm learning a new trade, and it's called think before I speak. And take the passion out of it.
He's trying to put the filter back in.
And well, I don't think I'll ever have a filter, but But as far as overall, I'm really trying to think it more than speak it, because I want people to don't mistake my passion for being arrogant, because I love this fraternity. I love all it stands for. I love what it's done for me in my life. I had a conversation with a good brother the other day, and talked to him about my life story and where I am to this point, and how I will spend the rest of my life trying to repay Freemasonry for what it's done for me and saving my life. So, brother, by no means, please don't ever mistake my passion for arrogance. But at the same time, I get overloaded sometimes with my heart goes to jumping out of my chest, and I get a little anxiety going on, and it's just like getting ready for a big game or a fight. The fact is I love this fraternity, and I think that all men should have integrity that belong in our fraternity. I believe that all people should know to do the right thing all the time when no one's watching. And that thus the title of our show tonight, who are you when nobody's watching?
That defines you. That defines who you really are. Because people can put on a face in front of others. You and I could have put on a whole different face to the world of YouTube. But we're who we are every day. So why should we be different in front of the camera? So when you sit down and look at yourself in the mirror every morning, can you honestly look at yourself and say, I am who I am with no one around?
That's right. And are you thanking your deity for the blessings that he's given you every day? It doesn't matter to me as long as you have that one supreme being. What matters to me, are you thanking that deity for putting you in the spot in your life? There are things that have happened in my life in the last 8 months that I never dreamed would have ever happened to me. I bought a new home. I've had fantastic friends that were able to come by, to be able to entertain people in my home. And the fact is that I never thought that my creator would put me in that spot. And to him, every day I give him the glory for where I am in my life, because without my faith and integrity, I don't think I would be anything.
Yeah, no one can ever question. And I knew Wiley was going to go on tonight. I knew this was going to kind of be a Wiley show tonight, because the way this hit him the other night when we were up in Blairsville, and we talked about it the whole ride home. We've talked about it 2 or 3 times since then. What happened up there hit us both very strong, but it hit this man right in the heart. And it's been amazing to watch you grow over the past couple of years.
Well, it's still a work in progress, but this first sergeant that we spoke to, or that spoke to us at that meeting, he says Freemasonry exemplified what it was to have men of integrity. Brethren, we got to work hard to reestablish that thought process. How are we going to grow tomorrow's leaders with that thought process in mind? Are we going to go back to only accepting the best of the best of the best? Not everyone is qualified to be a Master Mason. Not every person that walks up and gives you a petition are going to meet the standards that we should set high for men of integrity and of great moral and great character. We've got to guard our inner doors, but at the same time, we've got to love on the ones that we got. Go have a Coke with them when you can. We've got to be able to take our friends out, or our friends, and love them harder and show them the path. We're Masonic leaders. Some of you out that are watching us tonight may not be in a leadership role.
Or may not think you're in a leadership role.
And we want you there.
But you're always, we've told this before, you're always someone's mentor.
Always.
Whether you know it or not. So all of you watching, and all of you who are going to listen to this, all of you are leaders to someone. Whether it be that brand new Mason in your lodge, whether it be that man at work that's watching you to decide if he wants to become a Mason. You are somebody's leader. You've got to think like that because that will change your entire perspective.
So understand this, and we'll go to our quotes and leave all of you alone, because if not, we'll sit here for the next 2 hours and talk about this. During these times when we're unable to perform our ritual and do our esoteric work, understand that the education of your members who attend should be your first priority. Now is the perfect time to teach them about etiquette. Now is the perfect time to teach them about being a mentor. Now is the perfect time to talk about how a lodge works. Now is the time to do the code.
Refresh a lecture. Do something at work and lectures at every meeting.
Don't if people are going to come out during this pandemic, visit your lodges and see your lodges and attend, make it worth their while. Give them a program at every meeting. Mm-hmm. It does not have to go on for 2 or 3 hours, but at the end of the day, time is precious. It's your most valuable asset. Mm-hmm. You need to use it wisely and use it to learn and study how to be a better Mason. Talk to your mentors, but mostly when you're in a lodge meeting, you need to have a program. If you're not the worshipful master or a diocese officer there at the lodge, ask the worshipful master, can you present a program? It doesn't have to be but 5 or 10 minutes.
It could be a poem. At the end of every day, I ask myself 2 questions now, and I've just started recently doing this in the past 6 months or so. 1, who am I? And 2, what piece of my imperfect ashlar have I chipped off today?
Exactly. Those are big questions. So, just try to take some of these things to what we're saying. We hope that you've all enjoyed our show tonight. We got to get back into the swing of things. We got to learn to turn off our other electronic devices and mute our computers. But with so many Zoom meetings going on and conference calls and things of that nature, sometimes you just forget. Plus, it's been a while since we've been up in here to try to record something, so we're a little out of practice. But we're going to get back into practice.
A little rough around the edges.
So we'll finish you with our 4 quotes that we have for tonight, and I hope you find these all pretty good. They have a lot of symbolic meaning to what we talked about with integrity, and hopefully you have the it factor. We want you to know that we love you, and we're so grateful that you spent your time with us this evening. So we'll talk about our quotes and give our final little remarks. So we want to waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius.
Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Integrity has no need of rules. Albert Camus.
Govern thy life and thy thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other. Thomas Fuller.
And I think out of all of that, the very last quote carries the most meaning. So govern thy life and thy thoughts if the whole world were to see just the one and reading the other one. So think about that. That's pretty intense words. So again, we hope that you've enjoyed tonight. We're a little bit out of practice. We're a little bit rusty, but we're going to be okay.
Hey, we're not as rusty as that first episode.
Yeah, we were pretty terrible. But we still have the face for radio. So, this whole video thing, we was talking about different faces. And if we had a makeup artist, it couldn't help us. But we are what we are. Just know that we love Freemasonry. There's never anything in the world that we would ever do to try to hurt Freemasonry or any of you. We try to make sure we research what we want to give to you, so we're giving you factual stuff all the time. Please continue, if you're a Georgia Mason, to support our Grand Lodge and to support Most Worshipful Grand Master Jan Giddens and his lodge and his officers.
Speaking of Most Worshipful Grand Master, if you got the message for his video and you couldn't watch it, that video has now been uploaded to the Grand Lodge of Georgia Facebook page, where you can watch it in its entirety over and over again if you want. That was just done this afternoon. So let your friends, let your brethren know that it's on the Grand Lodge of Georgia Free and Accepted Masons Facebook page.
And we'll try to get together. We don't know how it's going to work because for all of you who celebrate, happy Thanksgiving next Thursday. We may try to do a show then or the week after. We're not sure. We may be bi-weekly. But we're going to give everybody a heads up, and hopefully I won't have another conference call on the same night we're going to do a show. We're so thankful again that you all joined us. As we like to say here, we want to always know that you can call us, email us. Please click on the likes, the notification bell, subscribe to our channel. We love you. I know I've said that a lot, but love is really in my heart today. For some reason, it should be in my heart every day, but that four-letter bad word work gets in my way and it stunts it. But today, I just want you to know that we're grateful of your time. And as we like to say to everyone,
before we say it, I want to say those 5 words again that caused this episode tonight, because it put the hair up on our arms. Integrity is intangible, but invaluable. Be excellent to each other. Good night.
Good night. I think you might have got